Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lune, and I hope you're well. And if you're not, I hope you're well soon. So, I honestly didn't expect to be making a video today at all, but I am extremely inspired right now, and I just have to share this. So, I've had a very interesting realization today, and I feel like it has been a result of this energy recently. I think a lot is coming full circle right now, and many people are going through some very interesting awakenings about the truth of themselves and their lives in a very profound way. And the main thing that I have been realizing, and again, it's something that you can cognitively realize, but when you really feel it, when you really truly realize it, not just cognitively, but in your very being, it's different. It's different than just knowing about it intellectually. When you're experiencing it, it's different. 111 on the timer. Every mistake that you view as a mistake, every single decision you've made, whether it is to you good or bad, right? That mistake is a part of who you are. It's a part of the different versions of who you've been and parts of who you will be. And there's something very beautiful in that, right? There is this belief that, and I guess you could call it societal conditioning within the society that I live in. At the very least, I see it and I feel it. That there is this fixation on perfection, on being a certain way in order to be acceptable, in order to be loved, in order to be okay, essentially, to fit in, to be the best, which is deemed the best by society or conditioning on a specific level. And it could be personal, like smaller conditioning just within family lineages and generations. It doesn't matter what it is. You start to see these patterns and how they're passed down from generation to generation, and you begin to realize that there are ways to liberate yourself from these patterns, but you can also see that you can have so much compassion for yourself and for other people within patterns and conditioning that is destructive, because in that destruction, you learn a lot about yourself and other people and your capacity for love. I was reflecting on what mistakes are beginning to mean to me, what missteps are beginning to mean to me on a personal level, but also on a larger level when it comes to our society and how we interact with each other. Growing up, and I know I'll speak on my personal experience just to give you some context. Growing up, I grew up in an environment where I experienced and I saw things that were not right, that were not just, that were not okay. I saw people treat each other badly, abusively. I witnessed that. And I was also made to feel that I couldn't express myself, because I remember times where when I was a child, I would see injustice and I would speak up, and then I would be shut down by adults around me. I'd be told to stay quiet. I'd be told that I was wrong for expressing myself in specific ways. And it created this belief within myself that I was a problem, that I was wrong. And so whenever there was conflict, from then on, as I grew up, I either wanted to avoid it or I kind of lashed out in a way that wasn't grounded, because I didn't know how to handle conflict in a way that was in a way where I was able to express my distaste for something and hold my ground, um, or in a way where I felt respected. How do I explain this? Every time that I had expressed myself, I had been shut down and made to feel that that expression was invalid or the problem. When in reality, the expression was never the problem. It was the patterns of which had come before me that I had been witnessing that were being passed down to me. This is what generational patterns and cycles are. They're passed down until someone can see it for what it is and begins to break it down and begins to realize that they can change that they are not a slave to that anymore. I had to recognize that my familial patterns that were passed down to me were an inheritance in a way that but it was almost beautiful because I could see that I was able to break it, that me and my family were able to break it, to realize that we didn't have to continue to be in this state of being and that we were strong enough to overcome it, which I don't think I can express the gratitude there. But as this is happening, I began to realize like how children really internalize conflict and abandonment, rejection. Children are unaware. They're not at a certain level of intellectual understanding to be able, and even adults, right? When our subconscious mind is rejected, abandoned, told that it is not okay, repeatedly, repetitively, the mind begins to believe that. The mind begins to internalize that, and then we are playing on a broken record of that reality in our subconscious minds. So the goal, or whatever your goal is, I'm just saying this in general. I guess the goal is to understand that that broken record doesn't have to play anymore. You can find a new record. Musical, interesting. Musical metaphors. So you can change the record. You can change the tune. You don't have to stay in it because you recognize it. And you may have spent a lot of your life acting out of subconscious beliefs that you don't fully understand, and you may still be. And there are just a lot of things that impact who we are and how we interact. And in that, you can find a lot of unconditional love and compassion for yourself and other people, to know that they are operating out of these cycles. And in some ways they don't understand. And yet they are accountable. And yet they didn't understand, so how could they do anything? You can only do as much as what you are aware of. When you are aware that something is not healthy and you actually have the ability to change things, that is within your choice, that is within your control. But there may have been times where you did not understand what was going on. And so you made a mistake, quote unquote, a mistake. You made a choice, you said things to people, and it was unfavorable. You thought you were doing the right thing, but you weren't. You thought you knew the truth, but you didn't. But that's okay. This is what I'm saying. The mistakes, they don't make you any less lovable. In fact, they make you even more lovable because despite your mistakes, no, within your mistakes, you're finding love. A deeper reverence for yourself and other people, a deeper love for yourself and other people. that you wouldn't have been able to fully realize unless you made those mistakes. Wow, this message is very beautiful. And I did not intend to be 10-10 on the timer. I did not intend. That's funny. Intend 10. Anyway, I did not intend to be making this video. But I was inspired and I felt that it was important for you to understand that your mistakes and all the versions of you that you did not like, that are not perfect, are actually entirely beautiful. My journal prompt this morning was actually, it says, how have my mistakes made me stronger and allowed me to appreciate and love myself more? And I wanted to read a little bit of what I answered here because I thought it was very interesting. Looking back, each mistake was actually beautiful in the end. Every dark moment allowed me to fall even more in love with myself. Even in loving others in their darkness, I learned my true capacity for love. Love isn't in the conditional, it's in the messy, the authentic, the real. The nitty-gritty, the highs and lows. I also learned that I deserve to love and be loved by myself. I come first, flaws and all. And I honor this beauty, this capacity to love with honesty, reverence, with unconditional love, with nurturance. And I thanked myself, and I said, I'm home. Because this is what it's all about. Think of a child. It always comes back to being a child, that innocence, that beauty, that wonder, that awe of life itself, and of how we interact with each other. You can look at it within child and parental relationships. This is honestly a good example. A child comes into this world, and they need someone to nurture them, to take care of them, to rely on. And the parent is the one that would do that. Take care of them, nurture them, raise them, be there for them in hard times. And you begin to learn that nobody is perfect, and parents make mistakes. Children make mistakes. Friends make mistakes. Lovers make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, and nobody is perfect. And so in these relationships, we learn from each other, and we see each other in our mistakes, in our shortcomings, but also in understanding that those shortcomings are part of what make us all beautiful and unique. It's what allows us to teach each other things, to teach each other that the flaws, the mistakes, are part of the beauty of humanity, of us all. You would think that, based on conditioning, that being perfect is the only way to be loved fully. That's the conditioning. Then tell me why there are so many people on this planet who love each other so fiercely, so unapologetically, knowing that the people they love are flawed. It doesn't make sense, does it? Because that illusion that you need to be perfect to be loved is so untrue. Real love, like I said, isn't in the conditional, it's in the messy, the authentic, the raw, the real. So those parts of yourself that you're ashamed of, that you don't understand how anyone could love it, that is part of exactly why you are lovable. It's so strange. It's kind of like a paradox, but it's what I've come to realize. So, these realizations are so interesting and beautiful to me. And I hope that this allowed you to learn something, or just helped you to more deeply understand something you've already been coming into knowing about yourself and other people. This is how we are going to love one another. Loving each other in our darkness and in our light simultaneously. Because love is not conditional. It's unconditional. It exists in everything. And it is not perfect. It is perfectly imperfect. And that is what makes it so beautiful. So, that is the message. And I love you guys. And I hope you're well. And if you're not, I hope you're well soon. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.